Happy Friday. This is Guerilla Sports Daily. I'm your host, Liv Moods, and this daily is presented by Trusted American Mortgage. Trusted American salary-based mortgage consultants want to help you get into a better interest rate and lower your monthly payments. Just go to trustedamerican.com to see how much they can save you today.
Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Good morning and happy Friday. Liv Moods here with today's Guerilla Sports Daily, presented by Trusted American Mortgage. We're going to get into all things Denver/Colorado sports, as well as talk a little bit about the NFL and the chances that some of these teams have in the playoffs. As you guys know, it is a bye week for the Denver Broncos. We'll touch a little bit on that, but we also will have a full off-field episode for you following the daily. I know we did not do a Nuggets post game last night, so we will be doing an episode of Off Court today so that you guys can hear our thoughts on the Denver Nuggets performance and them falling short to the best team in the league right now. Good morning, Cedric. Happy to have you here. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to get on Twitter really quick and just give this a repost, get some more people in here, and hopefully we can all hang out and talk some sports. We've got a lot to talk about as it pertains to Colorado sports. Good morning, Cedric. I hope you have a fabulous Friday and a wonderful weekend ahead. It is weekend eve, thank goodness. I'm going to say we are live, all caps, of course. Duh, because it's important. But we're going to talk a little bit about Colorado sports. You guys know me and my attempt to talk about the Colorado Avalanche. Listen, I haven't been the most true fan of the Colorado Avalanche. If we're keeping it transparent, I kind of jumped on the bandwagon when they made the playoffs. It's the truth. I've always watched hockey because my brother always bet on hockey. He loves hockey. And he's like, you are missing out by not watching playoff hockey. And then I went to some hockey games and I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. But I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about the Avs. I texted our very own Jesse Montano this morning and said, hey, what do the people need to know about the Colorado Avalanche today? And he said, nothing crazy. They lost last night and they're in the middle of a 5-game road trip. Now, very similarly to the Denver Nuggets, this is a very long season for these hockey players. And Jesse and I actually talked about the potential collaboration of doing a crossover episode of Off Ice and Off Court, where we compare for the basketball fans who is McKinnon on the Denver Nuggets. Making a comparison of the rosters because there are a lot of similarities. Both of these teams, in talking with Jesse, have kind of had similar, I don't want to say fall offs since they won the Stanley Cup and or the NBA championship, but very, very similar, weirdly enough, very similar paths. And they've got a lot of talent and they're great sports teams. And there's a lot of different comparisons that we can make. So if you're a hockey fan through and through and you're like, I kind of want to get to know the Denver Nuggets a little bit more, but it's a lot and it's very confusing, I'm here to help you out. And if you watch my stuff and you're a basketball fan and you're like, dang, I really want to get to know this Colorado Avalanche team more. Number one, first and foremost, make sure you're following Guerilla Sports on all things socials, as well as subscribing to the YouTube, because we cover full time the Avalanche, the Broncos, and the Nuggets. So we have all of that for you. So just make sure you're tuning in to all of our stuff. Turn notifications on. There's times that I tune in to Megan Angley and Jesse Montano talking Colorado Avalanche stuff, because I know nothing about it and I learn a lot. So not a whole lot of newsworthy stuff for this Colorado Avalanche team outside of the fact that Ross Colton is likely to return this weekend after missing 6 weeks with a broken foot. So I texted Jesse back, who cares? Who cares about this Ross Colton guy? Well, a lot of people actually do, because he was on pace for a career year, pretty much in every statistical category before he got hurt. Then I asked Jesse, what are the chances that the Avs win it all this year? Is there another chance for that? And he said, if they can get healthy, yes, I have confidence. They are a very good team. They have been riddled with injuries. So Ross Colton coming back is a big deal. Like I said, he was on pace in every statistical category for a career year. So his return should mean a lot for this Avalanche team. The last time I did a daily, I talked about the return of some other injured players. So if this team can get healthy, I think there's a lot of optimism about what they could potentially be doing this season. But again, a very long season. Speaking of a long season, let's also talk a little bit about the Denver Nuggets. Oh my gosh, say a prayer. Ebbs and flows, baby. This is the way it is. It's just the nature of the beast, okay? And as much as I would love to see this Nuggets team just click like this, it's not going to happen, folks. It's just not. So we have to be patient with this process because it is going to take some time. Quite a few changes in their preseason/off season. We had Julian Strother coming back after an entire year of being injured. He showed a lot of promise as a young player to this team when they were in Vegas, and he was showing out. The same Vegas trip where Deron Holmes was injured. You know, I was just thinking about this last night. When I talk about the future of the Denver Nuggets and who do we need to trade and oh my gosh, all hope is lost, this is horrible, I do forget that Deron Holmes still exists. And I know he's not playing this season, but he is still on this roster and he will be a phenomenal addition once he is healthy. Relieve Nikola Jokic of some of the minutes that he plays. And Nikola Jokic and I, as of this moment right now, have like a smidge of beef. Not really. I placed a parlay. It was like +6 something or other. It was beautiful. Aaron Gordon, 6+ rebounds. MPJ, 2+ threes. Michael Porter Jr. with also 15+ points. And you know what the last leg of that parlay was? It was the GOAT. It was the one and the only. The leg I wasn't worried about before the game started. Yes, Nikola Jokic, 30 points. We are going to talk about that game last night in more detail, BK and myself right here at the desk today, following the off-field episode that we are doing right after this daily. So make sure you're tuning in if you want to hear a little bit more of my in-depth thoughts on that game and kind of just the way that the Nuggets let that game slip through their fingertips. BK and I talked before the game about if everybody shows up around Nikola Jokic. I never said if they had a perfect game. That's unrealistic. Okay? And I am a very intelligent woman. That is unrealistic to think that everybody shows up and has a perfect game. But you know what isn't unrealistic? To expect them to show up with effort. And I actually, for the most part, felt like they did. But layups weren't falling. I mean, what's going on here? I think if you are a Denver Nuggets fan, just remind yourself constantly, like on repeat in your brain, it's a long season. It's a long season. It's a long season. The teams right now that are thriving may not be thriving in 2 months. So buckle up. It is going to be a very long season. It's going to be an emotional roller coaster. Because in any given night when we're watching this Denver Nuggets team, they look amazing, and then they just don't look great at all. So not feeling great about the game last night. However, I do know that it is just part of the season. You know, you're going to see a lot of ebbs and flows. And unfortunately, when we watch the Denver Nuggets win their championship in the 2023 season, it was pretty smooth sailing for them. We were very blessed to have a team that was just cruising through the Western Conference, pretty much cruised all the way to the NBA championship finals, and then pretty much cruised to the championship title. So we got blessed in that regard. That's not going to happen all the time. We're going to see a lot of ebbs and flows. So just buckle your seatbelts. And if you want to know more about how we're feeling about that game specifically, maybe you're like, what's Liv got to say about Jamal Murray today? Tune into Off Court later, because you know we vent, we rant, we get things off of our chest so that I can go enjoy my weekend. But the Nuggets do play on Saturday and Sunday this weekend, so I won't get too comfortable because we'll be talking about them all weekend long. Like I said, turn on those notifications. Make sure you're tuning in to all things Denver Nuggets because we will have 2 post games following the games on Saturday and on Sunday. Speaking of tuning in and checking out, our friends over at Landmark Lincoln, make sure you're tuning in and checking out. They've got some really cool new rides for you this season, okay? This has been one of the best Landmark Lincoln dealerships in Colorado. Well, they are the #1 Lincoln dealer in Colorado. But check them out. They are located off of Bellevue, I believe. And you can go over there, get yourself a new ride, a new whip. You can go to landmarklincoln.com actually to see the latest offers and incentives and see if you qualify for no payments up to 90 days. Hello, take it. It's an expensive time of the year. I've done 0 Christmas shopping because I'm scared of how much money I'm going to spend. So this is a great time to save some money. They are located on the corner of Broadway and Bellevue. Go check them out and go see Colorado's trusted Lincoln dealer since 1911. Hello, they've been in business for that long for a reason. Shout out to our friends over at Landmark Lincoln. Okay, the Colorado Buffaloes. Let me just tell you something. I had a few friends over. By the way, This is so random. I can do nothing casually. I messaged my friends and said, hey, do you guys just want to stop by for a quick drink and some hors d'oeuvres? We're chilling. Yeah, no, I bought like bottles of Trader Joe's spiked eggnog. There was nothing casual about it, but nonetheless, we had a good time. And in that good time, we were watching the BYU Houston game. Why? Because I had CU Buffaloes in my house that were really, really rooting for the demise of BYU. Why? Because this CU Buffs team wanted to make the Big 12 championship and even have a chance at the playoffs. And I did specifically say a few weeks ago that the CU Buffs had a really great shot at making this new 12-team playoffs had they won out for the rest of their season. That game against the Kansas Jayhawks, tough looks. It really did stand in the way of this Buffs team being a playoff team this year. But nonetheless, there should be so much excitement in Boulder about what this team was able to accomplish this season after losing 8 of their last 9 games last season. Hot start, right? We had rappers coming out of the tunnel with these teams. What's going on? I remember sitting there going, okay, this could either be really great or this could be really bad. Because if they're not a good team and you've got Lil Wayne in the tunnel, I mean, that could be an embarrassing situation. They did have an embarrassing end to their season last year, but they kept a lot of talent on their team, and Coach Prime proving why he is one of the best coaches out there, college coaches out there. And I think he probably could be a great NFL coach as well. And there are still rumors swirling. Will he be in Vegas with the Raiders? Tom Brady now in charge of that organization. He's got his hands on things. Where will Shedeur be going? Does Deion want to follow him? Hard to believe considering they just got a 5-star recruit quarterback and Deion's speaking like he wants to be a part of his journey and his life. I don't see him leaving. I really don't. But who knows? Who knows? We've been blindsided before, and it wouldn't necessarily shock me. So the Buffs should be very excited about what they were able to accomplish, not to mention Travis Hunter, okay? If you're a betting person and you grabbed Travis Hunter to win the Heisman at the beginning of the season, dinner's on you. And I'm buying every drink, and I'm getting a filet mignon, baby, because you're feeling good right about now. These odds have been all over the place. And there's been a lot of conversations about whether it should go to him or Ashton Genty, I think his name is. That's kind of been the back and forth here when it comes to the Heisman Award. But listen, whether you're a Buffs fan or not, and to be honest with you, I'm not. Everyone from my high school, plus their grandma and their third cousin went to see you. So I was like, listen, I got to get out of here. Let me go to Texas. I don't want to do it. Love you guys. It was a fun 4 years, but I don't need to be dealing with you past that. So I've never really been a huge Buffs fan, but I can respect greatness, and hopefully you can too. Otherwise, I'm not arguing with you. I've learned you can't argue with stupid sometimes. I'm not calling you stupid, but I'm saying it is a stupid thought that Travis Hunter does not deserve the Heisman Award this season. He is doing something basically one of one. I mean, when have we seen a player play 2 positions? I know we've seen it, but be excellent at both. He plays full minutes in these games all season long. The way his body has held up has been remarkable. I'm very excited about the next step in his journey, but honestly, he's the Heisman winner. There's no conversation at this point. He is phenomenal. He's doing something that's never been done. I actually co-host a podcast with Deebo Samuel once a week. I asked Deebo Samuel about Travis Hunter. Who should it be? Who's winning the Heisman? And he said he's got to go with Hunter. It's a no-brainer at this point, and I absolutely agree. So the Buffs should be very excited about what they've accomplished this season. It'll be interesting to see which bowl game that they are a part of. Nonetheless, an excellent season by them. Very exciting to watch. And I'm interested to see what they look like without a Shedeur Sanders and a Travis Hunter, because they have been exceptionally important to this team. And even more excited to see what Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders do in their next step as well. So shout out to the CU Buffs. Let's talk a little bit of football, just a little tiny little bit. The Denver Broncos on a bye week. And does it not kind of feel great? You know, when I traveled to California for the Deebo show this week, I chose, which very ballsy move on my end. I did not wear the jacket into his house, although I should have. Nice, cool, swaggy, vintage bomber jacket. And the swag I felt walking on that little moving escalator wearing Denver Broncos stuff, is this what it feels like? Is this what it feels like to be a part of a winning franchise and to be proud of the team I'm wearing? Yeah, I wore that thing. I was looking swaggy. I got compliments. People were looking at me like, who's that chick? I said, she's a Broncos fan, and that's all you need to know, period. Because the jacket was sick. The Broncos are killing it. Bo Nix for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Please, Lord, let it be the case, because I will make $300 if it does hit. Nonetheless, the Broncos absolutely flipped their season around. Full transparency, I'm going to tuck my tail right now, send a little apology out to the Denver Broncos and maybe Sean Payton, although I don't really like to apologize, so this will be the last time I do it. I was impatient with the process, okay? When the season started 0-2, we were losing home games that we shouldn't have been losing. I was like, Sean, what's up, dude? What are we doing here? This is frustrating. This is your team now. You better take some ownership. If it's not working, this is on you. Well, Nate Jackson, BK, they both tried to encourage me to have a little thing called patience. Good luck, fellas. My parents have been trying to teach me patience since I was a wee little lad, and I still don't have it, and I don't think I ever will. So, yes, I was a little upset. I was highly stressed, but as it turns out, Sean Payton knows what he's doing. Would you believe it? Second highest paid coach in the NFL, and he knows what he's doing. That seems like it makes sense. So the Broncos absolutely in a great spot, which leads me to kind of the big conversation I want to have for the majority of the show today. Let's talk NFL, baby. Okay? Because while we do have the Nuggets very long season ahead, the Avs very long season ahead, the NFL, like we're in playoff conversations now, okay? And my Denver Broncos, as of now, have a 75% chance to make the playoffs. Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. And for those of you on Twitter already hitting my little notifications, they're a first round exit. Okay. And who's your team? Shush your pie hole. Okay. Let the boys play ball. The Broncos doing fantastic things. To me, this is the best defense in the NFL, and it's not even close when it comes to the Broncos. And you know what they say? Not sure if you've heard it, but I certainly have. Defense wins championships, period. I don't know if you saw Nate Jackson's tweet, but he put out into the little universe, the little Twitter sphere, that he thinks the Broncos could actually win the Super Bowl this year. Say what? Yeah, I don't know if I'm there yet, Nate. However, I am very excited about the path and the direction that they are headed on. It feels very, very good to have a quarterback that we know we can trust and rely on for years to come. He's a rookie, ladies and gentlemen, and he is balling out. I'm not just talking balling out for a rookie. He's balling out, period. I went to the Monday Night Football game. It was electric, also super terrifying because why was it that close? What are we doing here, Broncos? Let's get it together. Nonetheless, they won. 2 pick sixes by our defense. This is the best defense in the league. Fight with the wall. I don't care. So 75% chance for the Denver Broncos to make the playoffs. Now, here's the little sneaky situation here. Following this bye week, the Broncos will face the Colts. The Colts right now have a 27% chance to make the playoffs. They are just below the Broncos in the AFC. Oh no. Are we panicking? No, we're not. Let's have faith. Let's have faith, Broncos country. They can do this. Just ahead of the Broncos is the Chargers with a 94% chance to make the playoffs. And the Broncos will face the Chargers shortly. Their game got flexed from a Sunday to a Thursday. They will play the Colts on Sunday and the Chargers on Thursday. Let's hope this team doesn't really care about rest. Let's bounce back, fellas, because we've got some games to win, okay? Above them, 96% chance in the AFC to make the playoffs are the Houston Texans, who have kind of felt like a roller coaster. CJ Stroud in his sophomore slump this season, kind of hard to know what you're going to get. They've also had some injuries to their offense, but nonetheless, I love watching the Texans. I think they're a phenomenal team. I don't picture them going super far in the playoffs this season, just given the nature of the AFC and the fact that CJ Stroud has kind of been in a little bit of a slump. But that does not mean that this is not a good football team, because they absolutely are, and it's been fun to watch them. The Ravens, of course, 98% chance to make the playoffs. And above them, hello, Pittsburgh. How you feeling? Mike Tomlin, GOAT. Fight with the wall. He's a GOAT, okay? Love Mike Tomlin. Russell Wilson, cooking, question mark? He is, actually. And you know what it shows? Russell Wilson was never washed, okay? And if you thought that, well, that was called misdirected anger. That's what that was. There was so much wrong with the Broncos season last year. Who can we blame? Well, it can't be Sean, because he's going to stay for a while. So let's not blame Sean. Got to be Russell Wilson, because we can already tell Shawnee Boy wants him out of here. And that's exactly what happened. But look, you put Russell Wilson under a head coach that he gets along with a little bit better, that kind of maybe they speak the same language in the sense that there's boundaries, but he also lets Russell Wilson do what Russell Wilson wants to do. Sean Payton walked in here into the Mile High City and said, Russell Wilson, sit down and shut your mouth. I don't like this extra crap that you're doing. You're not running for mayor, quit kissing babies. You're pissing me off, right? That's what he said. And Russell Wilson probably was like, oh, that was rude. I don't appreciate that. This is who I am. Mike Tomlin maybe knows how to work with Russell Wilson better. It just wasn't a good fit in Denver. Russell Wilson is cooking, okay? Honest to God, this team could come out of the AFC. I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. I'm not trying to be funny. This team could come out of the AFC. Why? Defense wins championships. They've got it. And Russell Wilson, as of now, he's cooking. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. So they're in a great spot. The Chiefs, nobody cares. They have a 100% chance to make the playoffs. I don't care. I don't like this team. I want them out. Gone. Who's got to do it? Because I don't want to see them. Okay? And then the Bills, 100% chance to make the playoffs. They are in. And they're cooking as well. So the AFC feels very crazy. There's a lot of talent. And the NFC is no different, okay? The NFC is no different. Some of the biggest shocks, I would say, in the AFC this season, for sure, one of them, the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, love you a long time. I think it's time to pack it up. I think it's time to pack it up and go live on a tropical island and do whatever you got to do. But I don't know if this is your thing anymore. I fear Jets fans may owe Zach Wilson an apology, and maybe even Robert Saleh, because has much changed since Aaron Rodgers put his GM pants on? Has much changed? Have they gotten better? Are they in a better direction with Rodgers? They're really not, folks. Hate to be the bearer of bad news here. Every time this Jets team loses, my tweet out into the universe is, who's getting fired today? Because it's got to be somebody. It's not going to be Rodgers. We know Rodgers doesn't love the thing called accountability. That's the facts of the matter. So who are we blaming now? You've already gotten rid of just about everybody you could. I'm counting. This is me counting. You just got rid of about everybody out there in an attempt to deflect on what's really going on here. And at the end of the day, Rodgers, the league is getting younger, and you're not. Love ya. But it's the truth. Okay, Jets have been a shock. The Bengals, oh my goodness. The Bengals are a mess. The Bengals are a mess. And you know what's the weirdest thing in the world? They're really talented losers. That's the truth. They are losing football games like it's their job, but they are very talented. I watch that team and I'm like, what is happening here? Why can't we finish these games? What is in the way here? I don't get it. I bet on them last weekend. I'm here to tell you right now, never again. XOXO, a Bengals better. It's not happening again, but thank you so much for taking my money. It will not happen again. They have been one of the weirdest teams this season. They're great. They're talented. They've got a great roster. They're actually playing well, but they're not winning. So doesn't make a whole lot of sense. They're not making the playoffs. It is what it is. And I'm sure it's very frustrating. Now in the NFC, the Eagles, they're pretty much in. They're not there yet, like right at 99.9%. Okay. They're not officially in, but they're in. Okay. The Lions, another one. The Lions are cooking. To be honest with you, the NFC North is terrifying. The top three, actually, the NFC North is terrifying, okay? So you've got the Eagles that are like right almost in there. And just the only team that's really not impressive in the NFC North is the Bears, okay? But 99% chance for the Packers, 99% chance for the Vikings, 99% chance for the Lions. We're going to have 3 playoff teams coming out of the NFC North. It has been crazy. It's the same way I feel about the AFC North. What are they doing in the North? That should be a research project right there. Figure out what's going on in the North because it's very competitive and it's starting to freak me out. Okay. Washington, 82% chance. Bucks have been a pleasant surprise. They're at 56. So they're not there yet, but they do have an opportunity to potentially squeak out a little playoff run here. It's not my favorite team to trust right now. The Commanders at 82%. I'm liking that. Jaden Daniels, it's going to be back and forth right now between Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix for Offensive Rookie of the Year. You know where my vote's at because I have a ticket on it. Thank you. And surprising teams in the NFC. Much love, Debo. 49ers, hot mess, Express. Whoa. Who saw that coming? Not me. They say there's the Super Bowl slump, right? You go to the Super Bowl and naturally there's that like hangover, Super Bowl hangover, and they're not going to bounce back right away. This is pretty much copy paste the same team that made it to the Super Bowl, and it looks very JV right now. Junior varsity. It's the craziest thing. I don't know how we got here. It's just very shocking to me because, again, this is one of those teams, similarly to the Bengals, that on paper, they're great. They're really, really talented. There is something missing there. They have been a surprise. I would say the Cowboys have been a surprise, but really, no, they haven't. At what point do we just accept what it is? The Cowboys, if being called America's team helps you sleep at night, we'll let you have it. But nobody wants to watch you play football anymore. It's the facts. I'm speaking truth. Unless you are a born and raised Cowboys fan, I can guarantee you my money right now, you're not putting the Cowboys on your TV. America's team is not on your TV this year. It's painful. It makes me want to joust my eyeballs out. I'm not watching them. I don't think America's watching them unless you're a Cowboys fan, which I guess could be most of America. But even them, I don't know if they're watching these games right now because it's brutal. It's a tough watch. Nobody's trying to see it. Okay. So Bears, another surprise, except not for me. I took the Bears at plus money odds to go under 8.5 wins this year. You know why? Because I knew we were putting way too much pressure on Caleb Williams to flip an entire franchise around. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay? So I knew that this was their trajectory. It's going to take a second with Caleb Williams at the helm to get this team going. Justin Fields was a great quarterback, is a great quarterback. Okay, great might be like a bit of a stretch. He's a good quarterback, okay? And he couldn't do a thing with that team. I'm not sure he was the issue. I think we're starting to see that. I think we're learning that right now. So that's playoff conversations. And it's a bye week for the Broncos, so we won't have any post games this weekend for this Broncos team. But BK and I, in just half an hour, will be talking all things Denver Broncos. And by then, I may have some bets prepared for the NFL slate that I will talk to you guys about. So if you are at all interested in hearing where I'm putting my money this weekend and how I'm feeling specifically about these matchups this weekend, we're not talking Broncos because the Broncos aren't playing this weekend, but we will talk NFL. And we'll be doing that in half an hour. So make sure you're tuning into all things off field. A gentle and friendly reminder, this episode of Guerilla Sports Daily is presented by Trusted American Mortgage. Yes, yes, yes. You can go to trustedamerican.com to check out what they can do for you, how they can help you save money. Okay. How would you like to make it through the holidays without having to make a mortgage payment? Don't ask silly questions, Liv. Obviously, we would love it. Okay, well, go to trustedamerican.com and check out how they can help you refinance your home and not have to make payments till February. February, you say? Yeah. Go to trustedamerican.com. This episode presented by Trusted American Mortgage. Much love, helping us save money during the holiday season, the most expensive time of the year. We love it. Thank you for being here. 30 minutes until off field, about an hour and 30 until off court. We'll break down last night's game and preview tomorrow's game. Shout out to our Avs on the road. Hopefully they can keep getting some wins with some big names coming back to the ice after injury. And the Buffs, looking forward to see them playing during the holiday season and whatever bowl game that they're in. We'll be rooting for them. This has been another Guerilla Sports Daily. I'm Liv Moods. Happy Friday, and we will see you soon for Off Field. Bye.